What is up, YouTube? This is Barn on 11970. One more video before I start my afternoon. I've been getting a lot of people concerned about what's going on with North Korea, wondering if there's going to be a nuclear war, wondering if the problems are going to escalate. Now, I've already made this video. I've made actually 2 videos on this topic. If you don't want to watch this one, you want to see what I've said in the past, please go and scroll down and watch those 2 videos. One was recent, one was about a month ago. There is not going to be a nuclear war. Understand how the powers that be work. And when you finally, and I'm not saying everybody when I say you, I'm talking about the ones who don't understand. The powers that be use the same tactics over and over again. They've been doing it for hundreds of years, and it's worked all the time. 2 things they love to do: divide and conquer, which means they like making sure the media and the people talk about things that separate. That's why politicians don't talk about money. They don't solve the banking industry problems. They talk about things like gay marriage, abortion, women's rights, for example. And these are all things that are important, but they're not the most important things. You know, like, for example, having a nice set of clothing is important to some people. But you know what? If I had the choice between making a law prohibits people from wearing a certain type of clothing or making sure we have clean air, air is more important. So you see what I'm saying? We have to put priorities on things. And that's why, I forget his name. You made a video response, so forgive me. You're new, so I don't remember. But you were saying you didn't agree with my disagreement with gay marriage. You know, that I understand that. It's fine. Like I said, I have no problem with it at all. It's just not something I would do. So that's what I mean when I say that I don't believe in it, because I'm basing it on myself. But I have no problem with gay marriage. I would never stop somebody from marrying whoever they want. Everybody has that right. But what it does is gets people angry. I mean, look what religion has done throughout the centuries. People have killed each other. People have died for nothing more than a belief that you were programmed to believe. Because I can guarantee you that nobody was born, and as soon as they had the ability to understand any form of language, they didn't have some god come down from the sky and hand them written words that he wrote and said, here, this is what it is. We have all been programmed. And because, like they say, tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. Okay? The other thing that the powers that be love is causing fear. They do that with 9/11. They do that with all these different wars that we've had in the past. They do it in the media every day that, you know, you got to lock your doors because everybody's coming to get you. You better rat on your next door neighbor because you never know, they might come and shoot you. They use fear. Why? Because when you're scared, you don't think logically. You tend to go to your primitive brain, the fight or flight, which means logic and reason are shut off. You either stand and fight or you run away. And it limits your capacity to think. And that is where they can come in and take advantage of that situation that they've created and get you to follow their agenda or get you to focus away from what their real agenda is. There is not going to be a nuclear war. Why? Because it will not just be North Korea versus us, for example. It will ultimately be everybody versus everybody. The world is gone. Now, we don't know what could happen to the Earth if, let's say, 10,000 nuclear missiles all bombarded the planet at the same time. So if you think, well, you know, they have underground bunkers, those powers that be will be safe. Think logically. If everybody launched a nuclear missile, because that's what would happen, you're not going to see North Korea launch a nuclear missile and everybody say, well, you know, we'll just let them kill those people, no problem. There'll be a retaliation. There'll be other people that get in because they'll be feared that they'll be next. Next thing you know, everyone's gone. Okay, atmosphere. Who knows what happens to the ozone layer? Could be destroyed. No more oxygen. No more planet because no life. We could have massive amounts of earthquakes. Who knows? Rocket may hit a fault line. Rocket may hit several fault lines. Rockets may create new fault lines. Guess what? Underground bunkers become obsolete at that point, and they become nice little pre-made caskets. There could be points where all of a sudden lava can rise up from new areas. You'd sure hate to be in an underground bunker where that happened. See where I'm getting at? The powers that be are not stupid. They are criminals. And the one advantage that we have is, like they say, there is no honor amongst thieves. There's always going to be one person that wants that power a little bit more and is willing to do a little bit more evil than someone else and take advantage. And that's where they'll eventually defeat themselves. And where we have the chance, if we stop following the same patterns over and over again that they sucker us in with. That's the true definition of insanity. So they are trying to publicize North Korea, the new enemy, the new terrorist, the new evil, because it gets you to focus in that direction. So while you're looking that way, they're right behind you stealing your money. It's distractions. It's the perfect magic trick. Look over here while I do something over here. The Cuban Missile Crisis back in the 60s was the worst time in our history for World War III to happen. People went almost a whole decade paranoid from the mid-50s to the mid-60s. Was there a nuclear war? I mean, we surrounded Cuba at one point. They threatened to bomb us. People were being trained to hide under their desks to be prepared. My mother used to tell me the stories of how almost every day they lived in fear that at any moment the communists were coming to kill us. If it didn't happen then, it is not going to happen now. They are not going to destroy the planet. Because there's no guarantees wherever they hide, they'll be safe. So do you really think the people who crave power and want it as much as they can are willing to destroy everything, including themselves? They are in power because they control the masses to do the work for them. If the masses are dead, and if maybe a few of them survive, guess who does all the dishes? Guess who has to create all the new science? Guess who has to build the roads? Guess who has to clean the sewer system? Or actually create a new one because it'll be destroyed. We have to think with our logic. We cannot use emotion on these things. Otherwise, you're just easily controlled as everybody else. So if you really think there's going to be a nuclear war because the television told you so, you haven't changed. You haven't learned. You haven't grown. There will never be a nuclear war. And if there was, nobody wins. Problem solved either way. So this is one of the reasons why I tell people, get off cable television. Unless you like being programmed in what to believe. Because 99.99% of your beliefs have been somebody else telling you something until you decided that it registered in your brain as truth. Dangerous way to live, don't you think? I'm not worried about nuclear war, because there isn't going to be any. And if there is, I won't be here to have to worry about it anyway. Why are you worrying? People tell me to relax. People tell me to enjoy the world. Well, I give the same advice to the people that are sitting there watching every news station on the planet, on every channel, all throughout the day, biting their fingernails, saying, "Oh my God, where am I going to go? There's going to be a nuclear war because the TV, the television programming told me so." I got one word for those people. Stop it. All right, guys. Peace.